Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Truth Summarized. Every week we're going to study a biblical principle to see how it relates to our life. This week we're going to learn about repentance. So let's begin by reading today's key verse, Ezra 10, verse 1. While Ezra prayed and made confession, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, a very great assembly of men, women, and children gathered to him out of Israel, for the people wept bitterly. And the people were greatly aware of their disobedience and their sin, and it broke them. And we all make mistakes. In fact, when you read the Bible, you will see God's people making mistake after mistake. And that's comforting in a way, knowing that God doesn't expect us to be perfect. But here's what we see time and time again. The people who are most favored by God are those willing to own their sin. We sometimes refer to this as repentance, which in a very simple way means to do a complete turnaround. I saw a prank video of someone getting directions, and after this long conversation of him seeking directions, he turns and goes in a completely different way than they suggested. And the person who gave the directions is just in shock, like, I just told you to go that way. And repentance is us traveling this path of sin and continuing to see where this sin is leading and choosing to turn and run in the opposite direction. It was symbolized in the Old Testament often with weeping and people throwing themselves to the ground, tearing of their clothes, the types of things that we see in the book of Ezra. These actions were the direct result of an internal change, a desire to rid themselves of sin and reestablish connection with God. Have you made that internal decision to remove sin from your life? What outward steps have you taken to reestablish your connection to God? You can continue reading Ezra chapter 11 for a full view of the Israelites' sin and then the covenants they make with God as a result. Well, what covenant or promise can you make with God in regard to your sin? Thank you for joining me today on Truth Summarized. We're going to continue looking at repentance next time.